All right. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease. You guys kind of know all the rest. And let's get right into it. If the title hasn't given me away yet, we're going to speak on we're going to speak on someone who I've never actually made a formal video on, nor have I ever really made any type of foray into girl world, but I've spoken on it quite a bit, just never a dedicated video. We're going to speak on Foodie Beauty, Chantel, whatever. We're going to speak on her and her nonsense that happened over the span of the last month or so. One of the most amazing crash outs, aka I dare you to come get me, aka truly fuck around and find out, that I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I've seen it to various levels, I should say, or various degrees. But what she pulled is amazing. And the thing is that she kept pulling it. That's the crazy part. One cat got us into this situation, which led to her getting another cat after the fact, because she didn't learn her lesson the first time, which has led into just even more problems. We'll speak a little bit on Foodie's main adversary, which is FFG. I may refer to the three queens of girl world. This is just my own assumption. No one else, I don't think, ever thinks this, which is Yaba, YouTube Underground, Charlie Gold, big ups to Charlie Gold, and obviously FFG, or French Fry Girl, big ups to FFG, big ups to all three of them. And all three of them have their beefs going on right now for various reasons. I won't speak on that, but let's just stay on target. And our target is Foodie Beauty. So, how did this amazing nonsense crash out get to where we're at? Well, first off, let's talk about where we're at. Currently, we are in Canada, in Cornwall, and she is kind of, sort of trying to put out the facade that she's homeless, and she is living out of a car, to be honest with you. And so she streams, twice a day usually, maybe 3 times from a particular parking lot, and she rages out a bit because that brings in viewers. And she talks about her future plans. She talks about how people have gone too far and how she's this victim, so on and so forth. Now, one of Foodie's associates, which is Yo Mama, he's over there on Lol Cow Live and Lol Cow Queens, mocking the shit out of these big girls and whatever. He's playing a good dancing monkey over there and whatnot. So, he's definitely getting something out of it while trying to go after other reactors for, thinking, what went on was right or just, or whatever the case may be. But he's out there making fun of all this shit. It's a mess right now, to be honest with you. But that's kind of how girl world is. There's always kind of a bunch of nonsense going on. So, Foodie allegedly is in Canada currently. She has just gotten evicted from her new apartment, which she had for probably a week, if that. But she only got evicted in the first 72 hours, I want to tell you. It might have been 4 days, but I'm pretty sure it was 72 hours. And now she is allegedly living out of a car, even though that's obviously not possible because, well, it's not that it's not possible, but it's clearly her mother's car, or she's renting it, and you don't see any of her stuff in it. So obviously she's laying her head down somewhere. Now, she is wearing the same type of clothes. She's admitted to not buying any toothpaste, which means she didn't buy any toothpaste or anything when she had that new place. So she hasn't been washing, at least not well. She hasn't been brushing, at least not well. So she's probably pretty gross, more so than usual. That's where we're at currently. Let's go back in time a month and actually talk about why we're at where we're at. And ironically, it all circles around a bucket of fried chicken, some fried potatoes. I don't know if there was gravy or not, and them in this park full of cats. And Foodie snatches one up and waddles her way to the car as fast as she could, and with Salah, her fake husband, and they drive off. And then they start you know, this whole thing about we're trying to rescue this kitten. The mother's nowhere around. We need donations. Will you guys send us donations? Which led to Paul Kuwait stepping in and all of this. It's an entire mess, man. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So they go to the park. Salah, Foodie, this bucket of chicken picnic thing that they have, and they're out there. Well, she's out there stuffing her face. All these cats are circling around them, and I gotta tell you, looking back at it, this is my own personal theory. I think that was all planned. I think there was a particular kitten that she wanted, and she got the wrong one. Now, the one that ended up getting her kicked out of Kuwait was Bruce, which was a kitten, by the way. But I don't think that's the kitten that she wanted. I think she wanted the female kitten. And that's kind of why you see when she's waddling away with him, she lifts him up by his tail and is trying to check the undercarriage to see what's what. Most people think she did it just to, you know, find out if it was a male or female. But I think she particularly wanted the female. I don't think she wanted the male. Anyway, they're sitting there eating chicken. All these cats are circling around. And when she found the one whose attention that she could grasp, she swooped that shit up. Salah grabbed whatever food that they had and packaged it away, and they basically left their trash everywhere. And they bounced. And on the way to the car, I've never seen her move that fast before, not even for food, which really makes me think that it was all planned. Then they get out to the car, and they're live streaming all this, by the way. And people are immediately in the chat saying, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You need to stop doing that, so on and so forth. Salah's like, hey, the mother's out there. Which, how would Salah know that if they never even saw the kitten before? Which leads me to believe that Salah was probably out there earlier on, or a day or two before. He saw all three cats, or at least two of them at the very least. Maybe he took a picture, or he took a video of it and whatnot, sent it to her, to Foodie, and that's what prompted them to go out there and to do what they did. But Salah was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. The cat's out there. Like, you could tell that he wasn't really feeling this. That doesn't mean that he's not, you know, a collaborator or whatever. He's obviously, you know what I'm saying? He obviously helped her do it. He drove. He was the getaway driver. But I don't think I think once they had the kitten in their possession, and you see how this kitten's kind of fighting with her to kind of get free and whatever, and you see how shaken up this kitten is and all that, I think he was realizing, hey, this isn't a good idea, as well as he was looking at the chat. And the chat's telling him, yo, this isn't a good look. And speaking of which, you had Yo Mama, who was in the chat, who was like, yo, you need to put that cat back. What you're doing is wrong. You need to put that cat back. But you can't tell Foodie nothing. She want to do what she want. So they, after arguing with the chat, after her saying that the cat's incredibly sick and there's something in his lungs and, you know, he could die out there, this, that, and the third, we're taking the cat. And they go to some little, I guess they said it was like a 24-hour vet or whatever. Salah goes in with the kitten. She's out there saying, you know, hey, we got a kitten. They confirmed it was a boy. She's like, I'm going to be a mom. Hey, I can't bear children, so this is my only real shot. She's trying to solicit donations, and the donations are coming in, so on and so forth. That same night, shit hits the fan. Heavy. Girl World Twitter, as well as the Reddit, as well as I'm sure a couple of Discords really blew up at this shit. They were reaching out to whatever shelters that were around. They got a hold of Paul's Kuwait, and I don't know if the kid did that through Twitter or Instagram, and that's how it all kind of got started. Foodie ends up basically coming back on later saying, hey, I took the cat back, this, that, and the third. You people in Girl World should be ashamed of yourselves. That cat was dying and sick, and if it wasn't for us, you know what I'm saying, you know, that cat may have not have made it. Even though if that cat was dying and sick, then wouldn't its mother be the same thing? And you guys weren't running out to get her. Then and then people obviously looked through the videotape or through their stream and saw that the mother was right there. Like, they literally snatched up that kitten right in front of its own mother. And Something spooked Salah and Foodie to take the cat back, which they did. She recorded them dropping the kitten off to its mother. Then like I said, there was another kitten too. So I'm thinking what Foodie wanted was that female, not the male that they ended up grabbing, Bruce. I think he wanted the sister. Foodie tried to make a bunch of excuses up, saying that, you know, her and Salah has seen plenty of dead cats out there, and they thought Bruce was the only one of the litter that may have survived, and that's why they grabbed him, even though they never I don't think she said anything about the mother though. And she tried to come up with every excuse in the book, and that whole paused Kuwait thing over a few days, it must have been no more than a few days, maybe a week, just kept escalating. It just kept rolling along. And then paused Kuwait basically said, hey, we're gonna go ahead and send her to the authorities. We're pressing charges. She was gone. She tried to play victim all she could, and then once the heat was on, she was out of there. Next day, she was on a plane. She was gone. Came back to Canada. Now she's in Canada. So you went sat there and grabbed this one kitten from its mother. You literally ripped this one kitten from its own mother. Was forced to put it back. Then you had to deal with the consequences of it. Then you abandoned your quote-unquote husband and your other cat, Julia, to come back to Canada. Then she's in Canada a couple days and whatnot. I said here, but I'm not in Canada. But she was in Canada. She was in she was in the North America for a couple of days. And then she adopts this, I don't know if I'd say he's morbidly obese. He's definitely obese. He's a big cat. She adopts this really huge cat, which from the pictures that she saw that he was a big cat. He was really, really big. He has been rehomed, if I've got all the information on this right, don't hold me to this. In 6 years, he was rehomed 3 times. Well, now 4. But I can't say that she rehomed him. I think she threw him on the street, but we'll never know until she ends up proving something. But this cat got rehomed 3 times in 6 years, which isn't a good sign. Plus, he is overweight, so that doesn't help. And you can't blame the cat for that. You can only blame the owners. If they kept shoving food in his mouth, he's gonna eat it. So she adopts this cat who has all these obvious issues and problems. And it's very clear that she was gonna use this cat to rage bait. She was mad that she basically ran out of Kuwait by Girl World, other haters, whatever you want to call it, whoever it was, whatever group or demographic. And she wanted this cat to rage bait, to be honest, and to solicit donations from her own audience, who they themselves, some of the people in her audience were thinking this is a really bad idea. This cat would obviously have a lot of health problems. On top of her health problems, you're just moving into this new place. You're just getting yourself together. Why are you doing this? Speaking of which, interestingly enough, before she came back online, there's a couple of ideas or a couple of theories on what prompted her to come online when she did. One theory was you had a Tozy and that one lawyer friend that he's cool with. He used to be cool with Nick. What is his name? Here, just give me a second. I'll see if I can find it real fast. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so it was a Tozy and Legal Mindset. That's who the 2 people I was thinking about were. Big ups to Lean In Manual on Twitter, who actually sent me the link to that video when it first came out. So big ups to them. So it was a Tozy and Legal Mindset who both did a video, and one did a stream, I think, on her and that whole situation, what the legal ramifications were. And though I think that's a good prompt, and I do think it's convenient given the time frame, I honestly think the reason why she went live is because she finally got into that new apartment. So because she was MIA after she dipped out of Kuwait for about 2 weeks, maybe, might have been longer. But I think that's what really prompted her. I think both of those individuals and their content definitely was a good prompt. But I think the real reason why she went online is because she finally had her own place where she could do so, which wasn't really her own place per se. It was like a room. I guess she did have like a living space and a kitchen. Whatever, make of that what you want. So anyway, she adopts this cat, Smokey, and people are like, this isn't a good idea, this, that, and the third. Girl World erupts saying this is bullshit. It's obviously rage baiting, so on and so forth. She has this cat for about 2 days. I want to tell you. And then she starts having second thoughts. Like she said, oh, it's a rebound cat, which is fucking ridiculous how she said that shit. And you know, she just didn't want to be alone. She misses Julia, yada yada yada. She's thinking about taking it back, which left FFG to respond. And well, I guess we'll just move on to that. So she has the cat for about 2 days. The cat's trying to get accustomed to its surroundings. It's spraying its scent everywhere. And she can't flaunt this cat in the same way she would with Julia. You know? Like she's too big, the cat's too big, she just can't do it. So after a couple of days, she's thinking about taking it back. Like, you know, this is just something she purchased from the store, and she's just trying to return it within the 7 days or whatever the case may be. A bunch of people in Girl World spoke on it. Frenchie comes out, or French Fry Girl comes out and says that, hey, I'll make a deal with you. Sign that, give me the cat, and I'll get you a car. And the deal, in hindsight, well, actually, even then, to be honest with you, when she proposed the deal, and in hindsight, it made sense to take the deal. It was a good deal. Like, Foodie wanted to get rid of the cat anyway. FFG was willing to come in, swoop that cat up, give it a good home, and, you know, she's willing to spend some of her spite money to give Foodie a car. Now, with that being said, I have there's some particulars as it pertains to the situation. Foodie can't fit in a standard car anymore. Even the car she's in now, she's a little too big for it, but she can't fit into a standard car anymore. The Temu car that she had in Kuwait, she couldn't fit in that. She out-ate herself in that vehicle. You guys remember every time she slid in, she was literally chafing herself on the steering wheel, and her gunt was hitting the horn all those different times, and it was a struggle session getting in and out of that. So for Frenchie to get her a car, I think they were going to go on like Facebook Marketplace or whatever. I think Frenchie said she was willing to spend about $1,000, $2,000 to get her, a clunker, basically. But as long as it drives, you know what I'm saying? As long as it runs, I should say, whatever. I think that she may have had to spend a little more than $2,000 to get her Foodie a car that she can fit in. That's my thing. I think it wasn't a matter of, it's not just the price of the car. It's about, can we find a car that Foodie can fit in, that she can actually drive without killing herself or unfortunately anybody else. So anyway, Foodie provides this, gives her this deal. I think the next day, Frenchie offers this deal to Foodie. Foodie the next day, I think, responds and says that, oh, she heard something, whatever. She wasn't sure, but she heard something along those lines. Now, the way Foodie tells the story, and I think French Fry Girl has already corroborated this, that Frenchie reaches out to Foodie on Instagram and says, hey, this is what my proposal is to you, so on and so forth. And even, Foodie herself says, hey, it might not have been a bad deal. It didn't sound like the trap that Foodie Beauty tries to make it sound like now. It sounded like she was really considering it. And then Foodie fucks it all up, and I mean that when I say that, by asking where BBJ is. Now here's my take on BBJ. Just to be frank, if BBJ has passed away, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, Foodie will be held responsible for that. Foodie Beauty is going to eat all of that and some the day that BBJ passes away. It's just the reality of the situation. She wanted to put the cat down in the first place. She neglected the cat to the point where when Frenchie finally got her hands on BBJ and took them to the vet, all these problems, which you can see it's still on French Fry Girl's community post on YouTube. You can see the actual vet report and everything that's wrong. There's a lot there. And yes, I get it that, and I'm sure all of you get it who keep up with this, that BBJ is old. that doesn't mean that BBJ had to suffer. That doesn't make any sense. So for me, if Frenchie or FFG gave a bit of comfort to that cat in its last few months, years, whatever the case may be, I can live with that. I think we all can. Because at the end of the day, Foodie Beauty is going to eat that, no matter what. And that's if BBJ has already passed away. If BBJ is alive, then truth be told, who the hell is Foodie Beauty to ask for, you know, proof of life on anything? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You were willing to give BBJ up, you know, have them put down, I should say, so you could chase some guy from the Middle East. So you've already relinquished that right. On top of that, and it makes me think this, why were you so willing to keep Sam, but you wanted to put BBJ down? I never understood that. Doubt that Sam was in any better shape than BBJ was. I think Sam is younger. So, I mean, I get that, but why were you so, you know, why was Sam allowed to leave with their life, but BBJ couldn't? And my reasoning is, and this is the real reason why she's pissed off at Frenchie, this is the real reason why she wants those updates, is she wants Sam back. And she wants Sam back so she can close the book. Sam was supposed to die all those years ago. What, almost 3 years ago? Sam was supposed to die. By her putting Sam down was going to close the book on Canada for her. That Sam's death was supposed to give her closure. And the fact that she didn't get it, and that her main op ended up getting hands on that, has basically drove in Foodie Beauty crazy ever since. I think BBJ was supposed to die. And I think, like any serial killer who ends up getting caught and gets sent to prison, she needs to have that connection with that victim. Now, most of you are going to say, wait a second, that sounds wild. You know, at the end of the day, you know, she was willing to give BBJ up. Yeah, but how much convincing did it take for her to make that happen? That's like DSP being convinced to go ahead and out Derek, that pedophile, knowing damn well what he was and all these different people were telling him about it. He knew about Derek and his activity for years and chose to ignore it. Foodie's the same thing. She purposely tried to get BBJ to in the worst possible shape that she could. So when it was time to go to that vet, the vet's like, wow, the cat's old, it's in really bad shape. You know, we may have to put it down just to be merciful. That's what she wanted. But she was getting so close to her departure date, she was like, well, fuck it. If someone else wants to take the cat, they can have it. That's why. She wants updates on BBJ so she can try to figure out where BBJ is at, or have one of her people in her community figure out where BBJ is at so she can go over there and try to harass those people to get her cat back. And that's exactly what she's going to do. I'm confident in that. And whoever has Sam, I don't think she's willing to do that because, one, I don't think she cares. To be honest with you, Sam's gone. And two, excuse me, she has no rights to Sam. I'm assuming like a friend of the family or someone has that cat, has Sam. And plus, if the story's true, she did try to get Sam back recently, and the owner said they weren't giving her up, or giving Sam up. They said that they've had him for 3 years. They're not doing that. Womp womp. So there's that. That's my thoughts on BBJ. I think a part of her wants to finish the job because BBJ was supposed to be closure. And I honestly think now, if she gets her hands on BBJ, she's gonna either do something to that cat, or she's definitely gonna try to dispose of BBJ in some way, just so she can spite FFG. I honestly think that's what it comes down to, which is really disturbing and really sad that that's what it's come down to for Foodie to believe she can get over on FFG. Anyway, so that's my situation on BBJ. So she has this cat. She's already having buyer's remorse, basically, and she wants to give the cat up. Frenchie offers her a car in exchange. Foodie is kind of thinking about it, then tries to, like I said, bring BBJ into the situation. Frenchie's like, hey, Frenchie says that she has a video that she took within the last 2 weeks or so. Probably be 3 weeks to a month at the point that this goes out. That she would be willing to send Foodie to let her basically proof of life. But then Foodie goes on another stream and says, yeah, I'm not doing it. I don't trust it. Yada, 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 yada. And she tries to build up all this outrage against FFG and try to put pressure on her to get to basically out BBJ. And yet again, it doesn't prove anything, it doesn't establish anything, it doesn't do anything. So the deal is off, whatever, and then all of a sudden, and this is the thing that you have to respect about FFG, Frenchie, French Fry Girl. It's her timing. It's one of the most consistent things about FFG is her timing. Her timing's damn near impeccable. She offers her a deal for the cat and she'll buy her a used car. Foodie rejects it, and then Foodie gets evicted like the next day or a day later. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, shit. Like, Foodie needs to, or Frenchie needs to get a fucking lottery ticket, as far as I'm concerned, because you can't, you can't, no one teaches you that. That's something you just have. Anyway, so she gets evicted because she gets evicted, and now she's in the situation she's in now. The only bargaining chip that she really has is Smokey, but she really, meaning Foodie. But Foodie doesn't even have that bargaining chip because I don't think most people believe she even has the cat anymore. And that comes from the fact that she said recently that the cat needed to be rid of. She needed to get rid of the cat, basically, which is insane for her to say. You just came off of saying that this cat was a rebound cat. Now you're saying this cat needed to be rid of. You're fucking insane. And of course people are going to use that against you again. You know what I'm saying? That's the third cat in a month that you've abandoned. It's ridiculous, especially in girl world where pets are a major, major thing. On top of the fact, and this is something that I kind of forgot about, FFG has done a number of charities for different, like, different animal charities or outreaches for animals, right? And I forgot, this was a while back, she did a charity, her and her community, and they raised like $14,000 or whatever. And Foodie actually tried to get her beezers or her audience to report that charity. It's insane. You have a charity, it's a charity, whether it's for a child, whether it's for animals, whatever the case may be. You got people out there trying to report a charity? That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That's demonic, if you really think about that shit. So Foodie's at where she's at. She's stuck. Frenchie is like, hey, whatever. I personally think that FFG is trying to locate where Smokey is. I honestly think that she is. Because I honestly think that Frenchie has the resources and the people around her that can give that cat a proper home. All she has to do is track the cat down. And that leads me to believe that I think that cat's on the street, man. I honestly think that cat's on the street. I really do. Because Foodie don't want to tell nobody where that cat's at. She tried to pawn this cat off on this basically like Humane Society, saying that she found this cat out in the wild, right? And it's overweight, it seems kind of like it has some problems, but she's on her way out of the country. Can she drop this cat off? The reason why is because Foodie doesn't want to have a paper trail. At least that's the theory. She doesn't want to have a paper trail. She doesn't want to be reported. She doesn't want her name associated with anything that has to do with giving up a cat. Ironically enough, the agent that she was in contact with to see if she can drop this cat off, she had said either on Twitter or Instagram that the majority of people who give up animals are more than likely lying about how they discover this animal and they want to, give it to the Humane Society. Most of them are lying. They just want to give it up. Then they just don't want to make themselves look bad. So she didn't believe Foodie any more than she probably believed how genuine most people are. So that, and then the girl world got a hold of that. They reported her. The Humane Society still said, or the organization or whatever, said they would still take the cat, and they said they didn't really give a damn about Foodie. Just bring us the cat. And then that also opened up a line of questioning about, well, when Frenchie got her hands on BBJ and took them to the vet, did FFG or even the vet report Foodie for this neglect? Now, I think FFG says she didn't, but she probably didn't do it because the veterinarians did. So for all we know, Foodie is on a list somewhere, and that's why she can't officially adopt. That's why she has to go to all these individual people. She has to basically look at the Craigslist type listings that try to find animals, but she can't go about it in an official capacity. So that's a thing. That's kind of interesting if you think about it. Why do I think all this happened? And that leads to where we're at now. She ends up getting evicted for smoking for the cat, and she just got into an argument with the landlord. And she volunteered to leave instead of getting evicted. Smart on her part. So she lost her deposit, and Smeed, her mother, has to deal with her ass yet again. Now, here's my theory on why we're even here. How did this even happen? What was the point of all of this, to be honest with you? I honestly think that Foodie Beauty was trying to pull a French fry girl. She was trying to recreate her own version of BBJ Rescue. I know. Hold your laughter. You know what I'm saying? Humor me for a minute. I honestly think that's what Foodie was trying to do. I think Foodie Beauty was trying to recreate the BBJ Rescue in her own way, her own rendition, if you will, of it. I honestly think that's what she was trying to do. Oh, this kitten. Oh, it's in such a bad shape. Me and Salah are gonna rescue it, and then we're gonna get a bunch of donations for it. I'm gonna show you guys, or she was going to, I should say, show the medical progress. You would have seen this cat get better over time. Plus, it's a cute kitten, which brings in money and attention. Because let's be honest, the only reason why Julia exists is because of Sam and BBJ, to be honest. And Julia looks a little bit like BBJ, I think. So the kitten that she was going for is supposed to be the replacement for Sam. So not only is she going to be able to rage bait girl world, but she can also appeal to her audience and any outsiders about this new kitten that she has. She's been trying to wipe away the stain of not only BBJ, but giving up Sam since she left Canada the first time. I honestly think this is what it was. That's what Julia's purpose is. To have another cat around, another cute and cuddly cat to bring in donations and to try to rub it in girl world's face. I think this kitten was no different. I honestly think she tried to recreate the BBJ Rescue, and she failed miserably. And it got her ass kicked out of the country. And because Foodie is so spiteful and resentful, she tried to do it again with with Smokey. And failed at that. Because Sam isn't young, really. I mean, he's 6, I guess, or he's around 6. But he's not young, and he's massively overweight. And you know that she kind of just wants a pet where she can set it and forget it. That pet only serves a purpose when she needs it to serve a purpose. If not, on the way with you. Go and hang out in a corner or something and whatnot. Chase down some roaches or whatever the hell that Foodie had in her apartment until she needs that cat again. And I think that's what led to the end of the whole Kuwait arc, to be honest. She was chasing after Frenchie, and she was chasing after BBJ. She saw it work in real time when it was used against her. So if she could recreate that in her own way, I think that right there is supposed to provide quite a bit of money that she was going to need to continue to pay down her debts in Canada, to get her to go back to Canada, because I think honestly she was just done with the Middle East altogether. If it's true about Salah, he can't get into Canada anyway. He's already been rejected twice, so unless he can get himself into the United States, because Foodie can't get him in because of all her debts, so that's a problem. So I think that's really what it comes down to. On top of that, let me give you guys more of a financial motivation. Think about earlier this year and mainly late last year. She didn't get any real birthday money because she got banned for like 30 days or whatever from some post she made on some community post she made. So she had problems with that. She wasn't active. When Mr. Snowflake put out the last 2 parts of his Foodie Beauty documentary, she didn't get the rage over those. So there's that. She messed up financially quite a bit in 2024 and in 2025, our current year. So she needs to try to catch up, and she needs to try to catch up in the worst way. And I think that the situation with Bruce, that kitten, I think was a poorly thought out plan. I mean, in that it wasn't the cat carrier in the back anyway, but they barely take Julie anywhere, so why would that be a thing? But it doesn't matter. The point being is that I think it was a poorly thought out plan. And I think it was going to end up costing her either which way, whether it was right then and there or even a few months down the line. Because you don't know what kind of diseases that kitten had, and you're just going to bring that back to Julia. And she didn't seem to care much about that. Oh, we'll put Julia in a room, or oh, well, if Julia does get sick, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. No preventative actions or anything. Just if it happens, we'll deal with it then. Sounds like DSP, don't it? Sounds like a lot of little cows. And I think that's really what the circumstances are. I honestly think that's what this all was. It was all to get back at FFG and Girl World with her own version of the BBJ rescue. That's just me. That's literally just me. And now, Foodie is allegedly living out of a car. She doesn't know what Salah's doing. And I'm pretty sure he's good. He's happy that she's gone. Because he's probably out here, it's the first, fresh air, or first bit of fresh air, I should say, that Salah's had in how many years? 3 years at least, or almost 3 years. I think it's it'll be in the winter. It'll be 3 years officially. So I'm pretty sure he's happier than a pig in shit. He doesn't have to worry about the smell. He doesn't have to worry about the complaining about how she's hungry. He doesn't have to deal with none of her bullshit and her slop-like mentality. Wherever, I'm pretty sure his family's happy with this situation. And truth be told, he lost 3 years on her. In 3 years, Foodie went from 350 pounds, she must have been when she left Canada the first time. She's easily tipping the scales at over 500 now. He's probably glad to be done with that. On top of the fact that if you look at Salah, when we first saw him a few years ago, and now, the dude's definitely aged like 5 to 7 years, maybe even 10. This was not a very profitable, or this wasn't, it wasn't what people try to make it out to be. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure, and there's plenty of people in Girl World who have said that was his meal ticket, this, that, and the third. And it was, but it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like that sunken cost fallacy, except for the fact that it took years off of his life that he's never going to get back. You know what I'm saying? Let alone the whole situation with Kybella and how all that crashed out on him. This, that, and the third. And with that being said, because we're about to close up shop now, when you look at the whole Kuwait arc and you look at the whole situation with Salah, I wonder, does Kybella deserve a bit more respect? Or a bit more credit, let's say that. I mean, respect, credit, both. Does she deserve a bit more credit for what she contributed to that? Because what she did was a major blow to not only Salah's image, but to Foodie's too, and the fake facade that everybody knew that it was, which was that marriage. I don't know, man. I feel like that she deserves a little bit more than what she's been getting. To be honest, it wasn't going to propel her into the annals of Girl World. Being that she did have a prior association, at least a prior association with Foodie in some way, shape, or form. But I think that she did play a part. You know what I mean? And yeah, you could say any woman could have played that part. Well, there wasn't another woman. There was her. She took the initiative. Does she get the respect that, the BBJ rescue? Probably not. But I think she should get something. I think there is some level of respect that should be given to her, or some level of credit that should be given to her for that. That's just a thought, though. I don't know. Maybe I'll ponder that a little bit more, to be honest, because that was devastating. The rage that came out of that shit, and then the way Foodie kind of, said she was done, and then she backtracked, and then she said, he comes from a very repressed religion and culture, and this, like, all the excuses she made for him which if it was any other woman, she would have easily has slandered the hell out of that woman if it was anybody else but her. I mean, I don't know. I think there's some value there. I don't know. Maybe I think she feels that she deserves some credit. But I don't know. I'll think about that further, and we'll see what's what. But anyway, that's where we're at. That's essentially. I could have probably condensed this down a little bit more, but that's essentially what happened with the Kuwait arc, or at least the end of the Kuwait arc, and leading into the eviction arc in Canada. It was, I mean, Foodie will sit there and tell you they did her a favor. She doesn't care. She's going to bounce back, whatever. But to sit there and be kicked out of a country, to lose possession of 3 animals in the span of a month, and you didn't learn not a damn thing from any of it, is pretty astounding. And yet it's also really sad too, because she's like 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is affecting your livelihood, right? Like, the idea of you telling your haters to do something, knowing damn well that they will actually do it, doesn't make any sense. Put out content, they're going to react to it. It can be a cycle, or it can be an ecosystem where everybody makes money. They're going to make more money than you, obviously, but everybody can profit. Instead, you want to challenge these people, you want to take them down, you want to dox them, you want to do any of this and all of this. If any of these people moved on, you're fucked. If the big 3 leaves, which is French Fry Girl, Charlie Gold, and Yaba leave to someone else, yeah, there's going to be other people. There's going to be garlic bread, there's going to be milk tea, there's going to be Pulpy, there's going to be Alice is Shook, even though he's more of a Amberlynn Reed person. Or reactor. I mean, there's always going to be other people that'll take their place. Obviously, Fat Cow Chronicles. There'll always be someone else to take the step into that place, right? But that's just a whole bunch of eyes that are just going to be off of you for no reason. And let's be honest, we all know that Foodie Beauty reports all 3 of those channels, probably every channel, daily. She's admitted to doing that to Yaba or YouTube Underground. She's admitted that every stream Yaba does, she reports it. She definitely does it to Charlie Gold, and you know she does that to French Fry Girl. So she's already working ass backwards. And she keeps talking about karma, meaning Foodie. She keeps talking about karma, and these people are going to get what they deserve, and this, that, and the third. Well, what about you? Are you not going through karma right now? All the mistakes that you've made, all of the viciousness that you've portrayed and put out there, are you not getting your up and comings? You have the nerve to come up out your face and refer to someone's mother, deceased mother, as worm food, and then you said you wish that she'd go to hell with her, and she also becomes worm food. Just in case you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Foodie Beauty said that to French Fry Girl, which is insane that you would say that about another woman. To be honest with you, that's insane. Holy shit, that's insane. Worm food. That's wild. You don't think that some of the stuff that you've said and done, this isn't karma against you? What do you call it? You know what I mean? Now, keep in mind, I'm not someone who firmly believes in karma. I mean, it exists, obviously, but it's not something that I put a lot of stock in. I'm going to take a quote from one of my favorite movies, Way of the Gun. In that, he says, he asked, do you believe in karma? One character is asking another character, do you believe in karma? And the guy is like, no. He's like, karma is justice without the satisfaction. I don't believe in justice. Theoretically, what's happening in the Foodie Beauty right now is justice. This is her karma. This is her up and coming. Whether she's actually, in air quotes, homeless or not, she's not in a place of her own. So the money's gone, pets are gone, the villa is gone. You've got nothing. You barely even have an audience. People are just watching you out of spite at this point, just to see what you say and do, so their favorite reactors can go ahead and go over it. You've lost damn near everything. You're pretty much at rock bottom. You don't have a friend in sight, really. You know what I mean? And you could say Pete's, but Pete's obviously has his own problems, as far as we know. So he's dealing with his own shit. You don't have anything. So really, you know, you're lucky you still have your family, but even then, that stepfather of yours and that stepsister of yours, I can see why they always seem to have they face turned up every time they see you. You don't have anything really. I don't think it wasn't worth it. I don't think it was. I just think that it's amazing how someone could tear their life down like this. And over what? Over the illusion that over you trying to get over on FFG, you trying to get over on Girl World, and trying to prove that you can, and trying to get over on Natter and Didi or Nosferatu for whatever, and trying to get over them. That makes no sense. So let me break this down and let's close up shop. She's trying to get over on Nosferatu for Natter and Didi. She's trying to get over on them to prove that she can be the proper and Muslim wife, I guess. And she can be everything that Natter would want her to be or need her to be or whatever. Even though the last big purchase that Natter needed from you, which was an apartment or some type of condo or something, you couldn't come through on. Remember that, Foodie? You wanted to put him all the way out in the sticks so Didi couldn't get to him, or at least not get to him easily. And when you went to go and look at the place, you couldn't get approved because your credit was shit and your income was already dropping. So there's that. Then you're trying to prove the girl world that you can find a man who will love you and who will take care of you and will appreciate you, despite the fact that you had to give Salah what, $9,000 as a down payment for whatever, for his services or whatever business he was trying to start or whatever nonsense that was. So he's basically your mail order husband. And then you try to get over on FFG and have been over the years, over this, I honestly think over this BBJ situation, which if my theory is true, right? It's because of BBJ and FFG that you're knocked out of the country. You're knocked out of Kuwait. You're back in Canada with literally nothing to you. And it's all because you wanted to prove to FFG that you were as good as she was or better. And you failed miserably. That's pretty wild when you think about it in hindsight. But that's just my opinion. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know. But I gotta say, the amount of people who, outside of the usual people who talk about Girl World, the amount of people who keep coming back and speaking on it is pretty amazing. And one more thing, Marty, music business Marty, who's no longer with us, if he was around and he knew what would happen to you, all this would happen, I'm sure he'd have a pretty good chuckle. But that's another thing too. Marty may not be in the picture anymore, but that doesn't mean his followers, his acolytes, the people who respected him and whatnot aren't still in play, Foodie. So now you're back in Canada. They know everything about you from the previous op that they pulled. So you're worried about Girl World and you forget that there's a whole nother demographic of people that you still are out here having to contend with. So just because Marty's not on the board, just because Marty's not in the room, doesn't mean that his methods aren't. Doesn't mean that his will still isn't being executed. Something to think about when you think about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. I had said that I want to talk a little bit about Girl World a bit. Like I said, LTG is going through it right now, so we'll see what I can find on that. We'll speak on it. And we'll get back on DSP. We'll see what's up with that. We'll see what's up with LolCal Live. We'll see what's up with Rich. Even though last time I checked, Rich got castrated by Sav. So Sav finished the job on that. So, there you go. And Sly and a bunch of other people ran Rich off of Twitter. And so he's over there with on Blue Sky now, I think, until he's ready to come back. So there's all that. So I don't know if there's too much about Rich right now that's interesting. But we'll see. There's always something to laugh at, so we'll try to make the best of it. I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. It might be an actual FFG, an actual Foodie Beauty video later. Let me see what let's see what FFG has when she offered the car and all of that. And I might try to find that, clip that up, and we'll make something out of that. That could be fun. But in any case, kind of all over the place, but I'm getting back into making videos, so It's a thing. Anyway, take care of yourselves, people. You know what I'm saying? And have a good day, and I'll holler at y'all later. Take care, people. Take care. Oh, man. Karma. Karma, karma, karma.